Hi everyone, my name's Pan. Welcome to another edition of Bluebird Corner, the Cardiff City fans podcast. So, Cardiff City 4, Leyton Orient 3. What a game. Where do you start? First few minutes, I sat down in a seat. I thought, my God, the defence was absolutely shocking. I think the first minute or two, they had a shot from about 5 yards that we blocked. But defensively, Capaccio, Oshu, within a minute or so of the game, losing the ball, putting ourselves under pressure. Obviously, Orient came with a high press, similar to Bradford, but I think that first half for me from Cardiff City was one of the worst halves I've seen defensively in the last few years. That even includes under Bullet and Risa. Really, it was really poor. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, 2 home defeats previously, maybe for the pressure, etc. But and I appreciate Orient. Their players were high press and they put us under pressure. But the amount of times, when you can't just pass it out the back. Sometimes you have to, go through the press and over the press really, and mix it up a bit. And I couldn't believe what I was watching really the first half. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I mean, how Leyton Orient didn't win that match 7-8-3, I do not know. Well, I do know. I mean, obviously, it's because of Nathan Trott. And I think when we City fans look at the season so far, and yes, we're in third place, 2 points off top spot. It's a really positive position. But without Nathan Trott in goals, we'd be mid-table. I think that's without question. The amount of saves he made in that game yesterday was incredible. And we're against a better side, or if Orient had their scoring boots on, it could have been annihilation really. But yeah, we started the game, as I said, really poorly. I don't know why that was. The midfield were nowhere. Cole brothers, Wintle, Pauling. Some of the passing, like I said, was so poor. Real surprise when we went 1-0 up. I mean, Bagan down the left, wasn't it? Ball to Willock. What a pass from Willock to Robinson. And you can tell Robinson's on full form because he just let that ball do the work for him onto his right. Didn't need to touch it. Took it away from the defender who was out of position. Really poor defended by Orient. And a cool finish to the goalkeeper's right for 1-0, which, let's be honest, and we'll say this, it was definitely undeserved, but that was our one chance and we took it. So we're 1-0 up, and at that point, you think like when you get a goal up, we can push on from there. But the pattern of play continued, really, didn't it? In terms of the errors made, I just don't understand. I mean, I remember Osho in the first home game, wasn't it, when he made that shocking tackle that on the Bradford striker who gave them a penalty. But second half in that game, he was absolutely fantastic, wasn't he? So I thought he was man of the match overall in Bradford game, even though he made that horrendous mistake. And I was looking forward to seeing it. Well, one thing I would say, and I just don't understand, and this is, you can't criticise the manager too much, but you have to question him. In when we played Burton Albion on Tuesday, we didn't have a plan B. I mentioned this in the podcast before. We could have played for 2 days. We wouldn't have scored that goal. I mean, the manager says we didn't take our chances, but I'll be honest, we just did the same thing all the time. There was no plan B. There was no long balls in the box, putting a couple of big guys up there. It was really poor. And yesterday, I was really surprised that he changed the central fence partnership again. I mean, I appreciate Chambers coming in for the cup match against Burnley, played really well. The amount of times we've changed that central defensive partnership is crazy. And I just think why Fish didn't start. I don't know. I can't remember now who was at fault for the Burton goal, but whether he's looking at that and whether Fish was culpable, I don't know. And he's dropped him. I don't think he would do that. And I think Fish and Lawler, most City fans would say, is the best partnership so far this season we've seen. So I was really disappointed in that respect. But Oshu, as I said, started. So I thought, well, he has got a bit about him. He takes the ball out from defence, but absolutely shocking pass back. Didn't see Connolly on his inside, and yeah, basically just passed it for Connolly to take it on, and a cool finish to Trott's right, 1-1 before you know it. And as I said, you can't afford to make these kind of mistakes at this level. And but fair dues, Orient deserved to be back in the game. But I just think that that first half, 1-1, we were so lucky really to come out of that first half drawing the game. And credit to Leyton Orient. I mean, Connolly was a real threat. It reminded me of Savevic, who played with Bradford, a similar role, isn't it? Number 10, nippy player, intelligent player. And I would say though, and I think this needs to be mentioned as well, and I'll mention later on, is that ref was an absolute shocker. I don't think I've seen one ref in the home game so far that is any more than a 6 out of 10. Some of the decisions, absolutely. I mean, there are two fullbacks for Orient. They must have made about 15 fouls in the game, and how they both didn't get 2 yellows. I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely appalling. And I think, yeah, maybe let's be honest. We got to expect this now in League One, that we're not going to get pens at home. And yeah, we're not going to get fouls for us when they should be. It was just so obvious. But that's another thing. In terms of the second half, it started like the first, didn't it? I thought 1-1. We would kick on and improve really, especially attacking to the Canton. The same theme continued in the second half. We just looked again defensively so vulnerable, and I want to mention Capaccio as a right back. I don't think he's a right back. I think could be one of the best attacking wing backs in top level football. I'm talking, if he played in a back five at a Premier League club in a couple of years, I think he would do exceptionally well. But defensively, absolutely shocking. I mean, there was a time when I don't know if their wing just strolled past, or Connolly, I don't know if he just strolled past Capaccio down the left. What Capaccio does is he turns his back, so he's actually facing our goal. And when he does that, he tends to lose the ball. And he's got to learn not to do that, because he lost the ball in so many times, yesterday. I couldn't believe it. And Osho, obviously, that shocking pass back. And I think Dylan Lawler as well. What you've got to do is watch the game. And, Dylan Lawler was excellent in terms of, he was a lot better than Capaccio and Osho. But you also need to see defensively sometimes that he's vulnerable. And he needs, he's still got plenty of work to do. So, personally for me, Bagan was the more solid of the defenders. But yeah, without Trott in goal, as I said, we'd have been in serious trouble. But yeah, the second half continued the same theme as the first half, didn't it? And obviously, when we went 2-1 up, I was really surprised, because I just wasn't expecting it. I think Dylan Lawler obviously brought the ball, won it from the halfway line. He's got to be one of the best best attacking defenders I've seen at City in a long time. I'm trying to think back to the old days, really. Gabbard and stuff never did what Lawler did. He just brought that ball from the halfway line, total confidence in his ability with the ball at his feet. Scared the living daylights out of Leyton Orient. They backed off, gets to the edge of the box, hits a good shot, but the goalkeeper has to save that. And but we scored, and credit to Dylan Lawler for taking the opportunity, because I did think when he got so far to the box, he would pass it to Ruben Colwell. Well, credit for him for taking it on, and we're 2-1 up. And again, at that point, I was shocked really that we were winning the game. But let's hope. I was hoping we were going to kick on, and then 2 quick goals for them, and suddenly we're 3-2 down. I mean, defensively, we're all over the shot, aren't we? Ricochets, left, right, and centre. I think one of the goals came off Colwell, wasn't it? But our defence, was absolutely all over the place. And we conceded 7 goals in 3 home games, and that kind of form is going to end us in mid-table in this league. I know our away form has been excellent, but we need to sort that out, and that's why I'm saying Fish and Lawler need to start in that central defence. And on some occasions, I think when NG's fit, I think he should come in for a bit more solidity at the back in defence. We need that. We need to be more solid. But yeah, 2-1 up. Then they scored the 3-2 up. And I mean, let's be honest. There was it the third goal they scored. What a goal from their striker, Ballard. I think he curled in the top. That was one of the best goals I've seen down the stadium. And at that point, you're thinking, "No, this is another defeat, 3 on the trot." But the manager, he was going to make subs just before they scored, and then he brought on two or three, wasn't it? 3 subs at least. Kellyman comes on. Davis was very quiet. He needed to go off. Wintle was poor. I think was it Joe Colwell as well came off. So yeah, that definitely changed things. I think down the right hand side, the combination between Capaccio and Kellyman was they couldn't handle this because they Orient, and that goal that down the right hand side, Capaccio, he's so composed for a young lad. There's so many even wingers really in that position on the byline who don't look up and they don't have the vision to see the pass. And that ball back for Robinson was top quality, and Robinson cool finish. After I think Colwell crossed it for Salic, wasn't it? Before that, and we were 2-2 and then 3-3 and then 4-3 up, and amazing game of football. But I think the last 15 minutes we closed it out. I think there were 1 or 2 scary moments in added time, but yeah, kind of win, and we're third in the league. And I think we have to be honest with this, don't we? That, like I said, when you look back, what was it? 42 shots in the game. I don't know if Orient had something like 26, 11. I don't know how many were on target, 16 or whatever. Or there was loads of their shots on target. I don't think any side has ever come to the Cardiff City Stadium and had that many shots against us. And we have to sort that out. I think the manager knows that we can't continue in that way. I think away from home, playing counter-attacking football at times, if you want to do it that way with Capaccio, but defensively we need to be more solid. So we need to improve that. And I said the midfield, Colwell brothers and Wintle were nowhere to be seen in that game, and it's really disappointed. And 1 or 2 people mentioned to me, City fans this morning, who looked a bit leggy, but come on, it's the same for all teams. We've got a young squad. There's no excuses. But the good things are that Robinson's on form. I thought Kellyman, that little turn he did, wasn't it? Was world class, and hopefully he's now settled after a few appearances from the bench. And I think hopefully he'll get a start, because I think he could be our right winger with Willock on the left. And I say you alternate between Sancho and Robinson, but Robinson looks more effective in the way we play. But good to see Salic score as well. But Ruben Colwell has been off the boil for a few games, as far as I can see. I mean, his standards obviously improved from last season to the beginning of this season. I think he's I've been one of his biggest critics in terms of what he's not been doing previously, and I think he started this season really well. He's dropped off a bit, but yeah, as I said, we just need to be more solid in defence. We can't continue to ship goals like that at home if we want to stay in and around the playoff zone. But we are in third, and we move on. What a game! I can't remember a game like it. I was just thinking, this morning about previous games in the 80s and 90s, but I can't think of many like that. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on the game. Do you think that it should be Fish and Lawler always as our central defence? What do you think as a Capaccio as a right back? Do you think he's a wing back? What about our midfield? We were non-existent. Do you think Kellyman should be our winger now after that cameo performance in the last 30 odd minutes? And how do you think we shape up really for the remainder of the season? So it'd be great to hear your thoughts. Sorry I didn't do a podcast yesterday, as I did say I would, but I think I was exhausted after the game. I had a couple of pints and out of sleep. So I hope you have the rest of the weekend is really good. If you're running the Cardiff Half Marathon, all the best. It's a lovely day, and we shall see you next week. Take care.